Good morning, children. Yesterday we have seen from chapter number 1, pages 1, 2, and 3. I have explained. Hope you all have just gone through the 3 pages that I have explained yesterday. Today we'll be doing 4, 5, 6, 7. And I hope today we have to complete this explanation part of this chapter. Then we have to move forward for the question answers of, let's discuss, let's recall, and let's recall and let's discuss section. So after this explanation today, tomorrow we'll move forward for the question answers of this chapter and then for the worksheet. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go into the explanation part. So let's move to the, yesterday I have explained up to here. Okay, hope you all might have understood. Now let's move forward the names of the land. Now from where these names of the lands have been originated, means from where the names were given. So let's see about India, how the name came, and in which way this name was been, in which way India was been named. Okay, so let's see. The two of the words we often use for the country, for our country, are India and Bharat. Obviously we all be knowing the word India comes from Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. So India comes from which word? Indus. The meaning of Indus is Sindhu in Sanskrit. You have to underline that. The word India comes from the Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Okay, the first Iran and Greece in your atlas. So the people living in Iran are known as Iranians, and people living in Greece are known as Greeks. Okay, so Iranians and the Greeks who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus, means these people were knowing this word called Indus. They called it the Hindos or the Indos. They called two more names for this, that is Hindos or the Indos. And the land to the east of the river was called, and the east of the river found in this area was called what? The name India. Okay, so that's how the name came. The name Bharata was used for a group of people who lived in northwest. The people living in east side of the river were known as India, and to the northwest, who are mentioned in the Rig Veda, they are known as Bharata. So the name Bharata was used for the group of people who lived in the northwest area and were mentioned in Rig Veda, the earliest composition in Sanskrit. So Rig Veda is it's a composition in Sanskrit. What is the meaning? And dated about 3500 years ago, this composition was made. Which one? What was its name? Rig Veda. So you have to underline that. Rig Veda, the earliest composition in Sanskrit, dated about 3500 years ago. So that you have to underline. Later it was used for the country. So that's why the name came from the name Bharata was used by the group of people lived in northwest area, and India was been named by land to the east of river, and on which side? On the northwest side, about 2500 years ago. So that also you have to underline. Okay, now let's see, finding out about the past. So there were several ways of finding. So how we can find out about the past? There are several ways of finding out about the past. What are they? One is to search for by searching, and by another is by reading books that were written long ago. So there were some kind of records, and in some books it was written regarding the past. So in this way, by finding out those books and also by searching, we can find out about the past. So these are about the two ways. These are called as what? Manuscripts. Okay, so books that were written long ago, means which added the records, were known as manuscripts because they were written. And why? What is the meaning of manuscripts? Because they were written by hand. Okay, this comes from the Latin word, so manu meaning the hand. So that's why these books were known as manuscripts, because those were written by hands. So these were usually written on palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch. They were written by hands, but written where? Those were written on a palm leaf or on specially prepared bark of a tree known as what? Birch, which grows where? In the Himalayas. Okay, so over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by the insects. So some of the manuscripts were eaten by, because those were written in leaf, and also it were eaten by insects. Some were just got destroyed, and but many have survived. So often preserved in temples and monasteries. So they were kept in monasteries or temples in those times. So these books dealt with all kinds of subjects. Means this book was related to what kind of all subjects. They had religious beliefs and practices, lives of kings, medicine and science. So all these things were the book dealt with all kinds of such things. What were they? The book was dealt with religious beliefs. It has included the religious beliefs and practices, how the religions means their principles and everything was being practiced in those times. That's what these books says. And the lives of kings, we can come to know about the lives of kings, medicines and the science. So besides, there were epics also, poems were also mentioned, plays were there. Plays means drama and everything were there. So many of these were written in, and they were written in Sanskrit language. Okay, and others were in Prakrit. What is the Prakrit? The language used by the ordinary people. So that is known as Prakrit. So that you can underline. The languages spoken by ordinary people are known as Prakrit. Okay. So, and the Tamil was also a kind of a language they used. Okay, so we can also study inscriptions. So what is inscriptions? Let's come to know about this. So these are writings on relatively hard surfaces such as stone or metal. So the writings, okay, on relatively on hard surfaces such as stone or metal is known as inscriptions. So that you can underline. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes kings got their orders inscribed so that people could see, read and obey them. So at those times this inscription method was also used. What is that? Inscription means writing on a hard surface, means as if we can say writing on a stone and or such surfaces, means hard surfaces. And at those times the kings also used to write their inscriptions, kind of method. They used to use this method, means they used to write about the records regarding how many fights they won or like this, means all these records they used to put on the stone. They could see, read and obey them, so that the people could see, read and obey them. There are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women including kings and queens recorded what they did. See, as what I said, the kings or queens or the ordinary people, men used to use this inscription method, means they used to write on hard surfaces for keeping their records. For example, let's see, what is that? Kings often kept records of victories in battle. As I have said, they used to record keep the records of their victories in the battles they fought in those times. So yeah, so let's get into next sentence. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. So there were many other things also. Other than that, they also made certain things, and those were used in the past times. Those who study these subjects are known as archaeologists. So what is that? So archaeologists, that you have to underline. See, from there to archaeologists, the people those who use kind of things, those who make those things and use them in the past times, those objects are called as archaeologists. Okay, those who study such objects, about those objects that were made and used, those people were known as archaeologists. So they study the remains of buildings made of stone and bricks. They also study kind of buildings that were made by stone and bricks. Paintings and sculpture also been studied by them. They also explore and excavate. Okay, what is the meaning of excavate? Dig under the surface of the earth. They used to dig the earth and keep inside and used to explore regarding such paintings, okay, and sculptures, okay, to find out what? Tools, weapons, pots, pans, yeah, in order to getting such kind of treasures or tools, weapons, means they would find or not. For that purpose, they used to dig the earth surface. For what? For finding out tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments, and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone. Some of them were usually made of stones, and some were made of bones. Some were baked by clay or metal. So objects that are made of hard imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. But some of them were made of stones, bones, baked by clay or metal. But there are also such materials when they used to dig the surface of the earth, and then when they found out some materials, So means some of them were made of stones, bones and everything, some were made by clay and made by clay or metal, but along with that they also found such materials, those were imperishable, means they would not be destroyed. Those were very hard kind of material, and they also used to use with them those objects in order to survive for a long time. So these are the activities of people that were we can find out in the past. Okay, so that was page number 4 and 5. Let's get into page number 6. Okay, so what is that? What does it say? See, you can see some pictures over there. Yeah, see, it's in bricks. They used to carve some images. Okay, and yeah, the pots they used to find out. So these are some pictures. See, archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds and fish to find out what people ate in the past. Okay, and plant remains survive for far more rarely. Okay, so if seeds of grain or pieces of wood have been burnt, they survive in charred form. Okay, so what the archaeologists used to do, they used to look for bones of animals, birds and fish in order to find out what those people used to eat, what are their eating habits. Okay, and far more rarely if seeds of grain or pieces of wood have been burnt. When these kind of woods, grains were burnt, they survived in a charred form. Charred form means the things which were burnt and used, those were known as charred. Okay, charred form. So historians, that is scholars who study the past, often use the word source. So historians, scholars, they used to use the word source. What is that? To refer to the information found from the manuscripts, inscriptions, and as we have seen in the previous page, manuscript means what? Those record that was written by hand. Okay, and inscriptions means those were written on hard surfaces, and archaeology means the things which were been made and used by the people. Those people are known as archaeologists, and that art is known as archaeology. Okay, so once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an adventure. Once this kind of sources regarding the study is found, तो जब ऐसा sources study हो जाता है कि ऐसा सब चीज कैसा बनता है, so after that what would be the result? Learning about the past becomes an adventure. This becomes an interest for them to study regarding the past. So as we reconstruct it bit by bit, so historians and archaeologists are like detectives. What are they called? They are known as detectives. Why? Because they use all these sources like clues, found out about the past. So they use such kind of materials to find out regarding the past. Okay, so yeah, so this much for this, and the next part I am putting the video once again. So yeah, now what is the next topic? One, past or many. So did you notice the title of this book, or past? Yeah, we have already noticed. So we have used the word past in plural. For what? For what is the purpose of being pluralized? Okay, to know what? To draw attention to the fact that past was different for different groups of people. It is not just talking about the past, but past. It was been pronounced as is in a plural way. Why? Because there are it studies about different groups of people. That's why it's been pluralized. Okay, for example, the lives of herders or farmers and were different from those kings and queens, and lives of merchants were different from those of craftsperson, and so on. Also, as it is true even today, people follow different practices and customs in different parts. Okay, so this is what we learned about many different farmers and herders, the life of certain kings and queens, the life of certain merchants. So all of this differ from each other. That's why they had pluralized this word known as word by pasts. Okay, pasts. Okay, so let's get into page number 7 now. So yeah, people follow different practice and customs in different parts of the country. For example, how we can say that they practice different ways. See, today most people living in Andaman Islands get their own food by what? By fishing, hunting and collecting forest products. Okay, you can say, let's say here, products. Okay, yeah. So by contrast, most people living in cities depend on other for supplies of food. Differences such as these existed in past as well. For example, today most people used to living in Andaman Islands get their own food by themselves, while people living in cities are dependent on other provision stores and like that, means other supplies of food. And differences such as as these existed in the past as well. So differences were being existed in the past as well. Besides, there is another kind of difference. What is that? We know a great deal about kings and battles they fought because they kept records of their victories. What is another kind of difference that we can see from the today's world to the past? Yeah, there's a great deal about kings and because why? Regarding the battles they fought, because they kept records of their victories. So generally, ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers and herders did not keep the records of what they did. But the kings and queens, they used to keep the records about the battles they fought, while the farmers and gatherers, herders, they did not keep any records regarding what are the activities they did. So while archaeology helps us to find out what about their lives, there is much that remains unknown. That remains unknown. So that the archaeology helps us to find out regarding the lives of such people, about their past, how they used to survive their life. So that is what. Now let's see, what do dates mean? So see, if somebody asks you the date, you will probably mention the day, month and year, 2000 and something. Okay, so if somebody asks what's the date, you will probably say about the day, the month, which month is going on, and the year. So 2000 and something. Okay, so these years are counted from the date generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ. So this date are been assigned how? In way of birth of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. So 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. Means 2000 we can say after birth of Christ. That is after Christ, we can say after the birth of Christ. So are counted backwards. They are counted after the birth of Christ. Those dates and years were counted backwards, and usually they have the letters. Okay, BC. Backwards means from in a descending order. So that is the letters BC, that is before Christ added on. After this only we could say, means after the birth of Christ, the dates were considered as or counted backwards. This is known as before Christ added on. So in this book we will refer to dates going back from present using 2000 as our starting point. So from 2000 we will be counting backwards the dates and everything, because it was regarding, as we can say that it is before Christ, that is BC, before Christ. That is page number 7. Let's get into page number 8. See, what is this given? See, letters with dates, how we can allot these things. See, BC, we have seen stands for what? Before Christ. So you have to underline that. BC stands for before Christ. You will sometimes find AD before dates. Before dates you can find AD also. This stands for what? For two Latin words. That is Anno Domini. That is the full form of AD. Okay, so meaning in the year of the Lord, means the present year of the Lord, that is Christ. So 2012 can be written as AD 2012, because this is the current kind of current period. Okay, 2000 means after 2000. So sometimes CE is used instead of AD, that is BCE instead of BC. Letter CE stands for what? Common era. So that you have to underline. The letter CE stands for common era, and BC stands for what? Before common era. So we use these terms because the Christian era is now used in the most of the countries of the world. So the Christian era has been used by the entire world. So this we can use, this AD and everything could be used. In India we began using this form of dating from about 200 years ago. So about 200 years ago India accepted this kind of dating method, okay, or in which the dates were mentioned. So and sometimes the letters BP meaning before present are used. Sometimes these letters have been also used, BP, that's meaning what? Before present. So that is the kind of how we can allot the dates, how the dates were been mentioned in previous times and also in the present times. Okay, so yeah, so let's get into page number 9. One of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt, a country in North Africa where there were kings and queens about 5000 years ago. Okay, so there kind of one of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt. This was story comes from Egypt, and a country in North Africa where there were kings and queens about 5000 years ago. It is saying about 5000 years ago. See, Rosetta is a town on the north coast of Egypt, and here an inscribed stone was found. So, in a place of Rosetta found in Egypt, here an inscribed stone, that is which means inscribed stone means in that stone something was written. Okay, as we call it as inscription. So, which contained inscriptions in 3 different languages and scripts. What there in it? There were 3 languages written. That is Greek, 2 forms of Egyptian. Scholars who could read Greek figured out the names of kings and queens were enclosed in the little frame called the cartouche. The names of kings and queens were enclosed in this little frame called cartouche. So then they placed the Greek and Egyptian signs side by side and identified the sounds for which the Egyptian letters stood. So they used to identify those things, what it was written and what the Egyptian letters was trying to say to them. So as you can see, lion stood for L and bird for A. Once they knew what the letter stood for, they could read out the inscriptions as well. So in this method we can understand the inscription. As you can see, lion stood for L and the bird for A. So once they knew what the letter stood for, once they knew the meaning of the letters being what they stood for, then they could understand the inscriptions that were written. So this was a chapter. So what all things we have learned? We learned about the past, how the historians used to live, how they used to carry out certain, and we read about certain artists, craftspersons, how they used to inscribe. We also learned about certain locations of certain rivers and their subcontinents and the frontiers of subcontinent. Okay, where have been they located and how they have been emerged, and where from people used to travel from one continent, subcontinent to another subcontinent. What was the reason behind that? And to know what to learn and to travel. They had the spirit of adventure, and they were wanting to discover new and exciting places over there. That's why they moved from one subcontinent to another continent. That is the thing we saw from first, second, and third page. And okay, we also saw regarding how the name of India was been found out, was how the name India, our country, was been named. Okay, and we also found out how the past people used to find out their records, keep up their records, and what we saw about manuscripts, what is known as manuscripts, what is known as inscriptions, and what is known as archaeologists, who are the archaeologists, and what is the kind of art they do, and what was the name of that art. It is known as archaeologists. Archaeology was the art that was found by the archaeologists. Okay, and we also saw regarding how the word means how the manuscripts, inscriptions help them to find out various past records. Okay, and they also used many we also found out some examples regarding the why the chapter was been named as a past, because they told us about different kind of people, different kind of culture they had. So all were different, that's why they were named as pasts. Okay, so that way the name was been pluralized. And we also saw regarding Andaman people, how they used to get their field, and they used to fish and hunt and everything. Okay, and what do the dates mean, how they used to keep the dates on, how they allocated the dates, what are the style of dating. Okay, so that is what they used before Christ, and when they years and dates run backwards, also known as before Christ or BC, you can say. In the current situation from after 2000 means 2001, 2, like that, those are known as, could be written as AD also. And meaning of AD was, and there was 2 Latin words, that is Anno Domini, full form of AD. So all this, and also BP was known as before present. All these things we came to know today in this chapter. So this was kind of an interesting chapter. Hope you all would have understood this chapter. Please go through the chapters, and the homework for you is that just refer to this whole chapter, read the textbook thoroughly. Where you find any difficulty, just look on this video, and tomorrow I'll be moving on forward. So we have completed the explanation of the whole chapter number 1. Tomorrow we'll be moving forward for this exercise part. Let's recall and let's discuss. We'll be discussing the answers of these questions. Okay, so once again, as we have seen, and please do repeat these things, read the whole textbook once again, refer to the textbook, and as I made you underline some points along with my explanation, do underline and read that things twice and try to understand those things, grasp everything. And tomorrow we'll be moving forward the discussion of the question answers of the textual part, and thereafter moving forward to the worksheet section, the question answers of the worksheet we'll be discussing, and after that we'll be moving forward for the civics chapter number 1. Okay, so first history chapter 1 will complete, then we'll complete the civics chapter 1, then geography chapter 1. Yeah, so like this I'll keep on, because civics also it's very important. So first of all, it's within no time we'll complete this chapter number 1 along with the worksheet. So thank you all once again for joining. So see you all tomorrow. Bye.